Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me real close, because what I'm about to tell you might just save you some heartache, some wasted years, and a whole lot of tears. See, when he contacts you, and you know who I'm talking about, that man from your past, that man who ghosted you, mistreated you, didn't appreciate you, when he calls, when he texts, when he shows up talking about, I missed you, you're going to feel something. Oh, yeah, you're going to feel something. But don't make this mistake. Don't answer with your emotions. Answer with your standards. When he contacts you, you got to remember one thing. You can't respond with your emotions. You have to respond with your standards. See, emotions will have you messed up. Emotions will have you out here talking about maybe he's changed or maybe it's different this time. When deep down, you already know it ain't. Let me tell you something. Your heart is a beautiful thing, but it can be real tricky when you're lonely. Your heart wants what it wants, but your standards know what you deserve. And too many women, too many good women, they hear that phone buzz, they see that late night text pop up talking about, hey stranger, and they forget everything they prayed for. They forget all the tears, all the nights they set up wondering why they wasn't good enough. They forget how they promised themselves never again. Although they're exciting, remarkable, and why? These emotions are loud. They scream at you. They make you remember the times he held you close, the way he made you laugh, how he made you feel for a little while. Emotions don't remind you of the tears you cried when he didn't show up, when he said he'd call and didn't, when you waited by the phone and never rang. Emotions are tricky. That's why you got to have something stronger than your feelings. You got to have standards. Standards don't bend when a memory pops up. Standards don't get weak when you hear a familiar voice. Standards say, hold up. You don't just get access to me because you feel like it today. Standards say, what have you done to earn another shot at me? Standards are the guardrails that protect you from crashing into the same wall again. Now listen, I know how it feels. You're sitting there thinking, but Steve, what if he's really changed? What if he really missed me? And now he realizes, look, people do change. I'm not saying they don't. But change ain't proven by words. Change is proven by consistent action over time. Not one text, not one apology, not one bouquet of flowers. See, some men come back not because they love you, but because they miss the access to you. They miss the way you loved them. They miss the way you made them feel important. But missing you and valuing you are two different things. Don't confuse somebody's missing you with somebody being ready for you. When he contacts you, your first instinct might be to get excited. You might smile, you might get butterflies, you might even want to respond right away. But you got to slow down. Emotions react, standards pause. Standards make you think. Standards make you ask yourself, is this man coming back because he's ready to step up, or is he just lonely tonight? You don't owe anybody instant access to your peace. You don't owe anybody instant forgiveness without real change. You don't owe anybody a second chance just because they decided to show back up. No, your love is valuable, your time is valuable, your heart is valuable. And valuable things don't just get handed out to anybody who asks. Valuable things require proof. Valuable things require commitment. And let me tell you something else. A man who really changes doesn't mind proving it. A man who really values you will respect your standards. If you say, hey, I need to see consistency. I need to see actions match words. I need time to see if you're serious. The right man will say, whatever it takes. The wrong man will get mad. The wrong man will say, you're doing too much. The wrong man will say, I already said I'm sorry. What more do you want? That's how you know When he contacts you, it's not just about what he says, it's about what you require. And if you lower your standards just because you feel lonely, you're setting yourself up for the same heartbreak all over again. It'll be the same pain, just a different day. Same tears, different month. I need you to stand on your worth. I need you to remember who you are. I need you to remember the nights you prayed for strength. You didn't come this far just to turn around and go right back to where you started. You didn't cry all those tears just to forget your value the minute he remembers your name. You are a queen, a prize, a gift, and the man who wants you needs to be a man who's willing to show up, stay consistent, and earn his place in your life. Not somebody who pops in when he's bored or lonely, not somebody who thinks a text at midnight is enough to reopen the door. So when he contacts you, baby girl, listen to me. Don't answer with your emotions. Answer with your standards. Your emotions will tell you what you want to hear. Your standards will tell you what you need to hear. And if he can't rise to the level of your standards, then he ain't the one for you. Not now, not ever. Let me tell you something real quick. When he contacts you, and he will, the first thing that's going to happen is your mind is going to start playing tricks on you. See, your mind is sneaky like that. It's going to reach back and start pulling out the highlight reel. You know what I mean? The good times, the laughs, the nights you stayed up talking about everything and nothing, the feeling you had when he held you like you were the only woman in the world. It's like your brain got a whole editing team back there cutting together a movie trailer of your best moments together. But what it ain't showing you is the blooper reel. It ain't showing you the nights you cried. It ain't showing you the mornings you woke up sick to your stomach wondering where he was or why he didn't call. It ain't showing you all the times you doubted yourself, wondering, am I not enough for him? See, that's a mistake. You start remembering the parts that felt good, and you start forgetting the parts that hurt you. And the problem with only remembering the good is that it tricks you into thinking you're missing something you actually survived. You got to remember the whole story, not just the birthday dinner where he showed up with flowers and made you feel special. Remember how a week later he disappeared without explanation. Not just the trip y'all took that one weekend that felt like a movie. Remember how for 3 months after that he couldn't commit to anything real. Not just the late night conversations where you told him your dreams and he listened so well. Remember how when it was time to support you for real, he had every excuse in the world why he couldn't show up. The whole story, baby. You got to tell yourself the whole story. Because when you forget the whole story, you open the door to the same pain. You think you're bringing back the good times, but you're really inviting back all that confusion, all that self-doubt, all that sleepless nights energy. And let me tell you something. Pain has a way of dressing itself up real pretty when it wants another shot at you. When he contacts you, he ain't going to bring up the times he had you crying. He ain't going to mention the promises he broke. No, he's going to say, I miss you. He's going to say, I've been thinking about you. He might even throw in some, I made a mistake, and that's all good. It might even be true, but it ain't the whole story. You got to be the one strong enough to say, hold up, I remember it all. I remember the laughs and the letdowns. I remember the romance and the red flags. I remember the compliments and the confusion. Because real love, real commitment, it don't leave you questioning your worth. Real love don't leave you wondering where you stand. Real love don't disappear and reappear like a magician pulling rabbits out of a hat. Real love is consistent. It's steady. It's clear. And listen, this ain't about being bitter. This ain't about holding on to anger. No, no, no. This is about protecting your peace. This is about honoring your healing. You didn't come through that heartbreak just to forget the lessons when somebody sends a "Hey stranger" text at 11:45 p.m. You worked hard to rebuild yourself. You fought to get your smile back. You prayed to get your strength back. Don't throw all that away, because you only remember the happy moments. Happiness ain't worth it if it's built on inconsistency, on confusion, on broken promises. When he contacts you, I need you to pause. I need you to check yourself. I need you to say out loud, if you have to, what is the whole story? Not just the part that made me feel good, but the part that made me feel small. The part that made me lose sleep. The part that made me question my value. Tell yourself the truth, even if it hurts a little, because the truth will keep you free. The truth will keep you from stepping right back into a cycle God already delivered you from. And if you ever start doubting yourself, if you ever start thinking maybe it wasn't that bad, stop and think about this. If it was good enough, if it was right enough, if it was meant for you, he wouldn't be contacting you now trying to fix it. He would have kept you back then. Don't romanticize the past. Don't let nostalgia lie to you. Nostalgia will dress up a nightmare and make it look like a dream if you let it. You got to be wise enough to look at the whole picture, even the ugly parts, and say, nah, I see it for what it was. I love myself too much to go backward, because you are not the same woman who used to settle for half love. You are not the same woman who used to accept mixed signals and broken promises and pretty lies. You are wiser now, stronger now. You are whole now. And the whole you, the healed you, deserves whole love. Not just pieces of somebody, not just moments of affection, not just flashes of attention when it's convenient for them. You deserve someone who chooses you every single day without you having to question it. So when he contacts you, baby, remember it all. Not just the good times, not just the sweet words. Remember everything. And remember who you are now. Let me be clear with you. Growth means not revisiting broken places. And when I say broken places, I mean those spots in your life where you gave everything and ended up empty. Those places where you poured yourself out, thinking it will be different this time, thinking it will work out, but it didn't. You cannot grow and keep going back to the places that broke you. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be perfect or that you can't forgive. I'm not saying you can't heal and try to rebuild. But I am saying this. You cannot move forward by stepping backward into the very same situations, the same toxic habits, the same people that brought you pain. That's not growth. That's just circling around the same mountain, hoping it'll magically turn into something new. It's like this. Imagine you've been hiking through a mountain trail and you keep hitting the same rock over and over again. That rock stops you from moving forward. Every time you try to get past it, you trip. So what do? You keep trying, right? Eventually, though, you got to make a choice. Are you going to keep tripping over that same rock, or are you going to take a different path? Are you going to keep going around in circles, or are you going to climb higher? It's the same with relationships. It's the same with people who have hurt you. It's the same with situations that drained your energy and took your peace. If you're still going back to them, hoping that this time it's going to be different, hoping that somehow this time they'll respect you, appreciate you, love you the right way, you're setting yourself up to be stuck. You can't grow if you're constantly dragging your feet through the same mud. You can't bloom if you keep planting yourself in soil that's poison. Think about it. If you're growing, If you're really growing, then your choices, your boundaries, your decisions should reflect the fact that you know you are worth more than the pain you've already been through. You can't keep walking down the same path and expecting a different result. If you do, you'll only find yourself getting frustrated, exhausted, and heartbroken once again. Now, don't get me wrong. It's natural to feel those pullbacks. It's natural to want to go back to what you knew. It's human nature to want to fix things, to want to believe that someone can change, that a situation can turn around. But let me tell you this. If a person, if anyone, had the ability to make you whole, to make you feel loved, to make you feel respected, they would have done that the first time around. If that person had the ability to meet you at your knees, they would have stepped up when you needed them, but they didn't. And that's hard to hear, I know. It's hard to face the truth that the person you invested so much into, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, isn't the one who's going to give you the kind of love you deserve. But here's what I need you to understand. You've got to love yourself enough to say, I am not going back to that place. I've grown, I've learned, I've become better, and I deserve better. You can't go backward and expect to find growth there. It's just not going to happen. You see, growth is all about moving forward, and you can't move forward while constantly revisiting the past. You can't walk into new blessings when you're still holding on to old baggage. You can't step into your purpose while you're still stuck in the past, hoping for a different outcome from the same situation that never worked. What you need now is clarity. What you need now is strength to move on, not weakness that push you backward. When you keep going back to what broke you, you're telling yourself you're not worth more. You're telling yourself you're willing to stay stuck because that's what feels familiar. And sometimes that comfort, even if it's uncomfortable, is what our minds try to cling to. But real strength comes from leaving behind what doesn't serve you. Real growth comes from choosing yourself over and over again, even when it's hard. And I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it is. You've put in the work, you've cried those tears, you've felt that hurt, and I know you've wanted to go back. I know it's tempting to pick up the phone, to text him back, to think maybe he's changed, maybe this time will be different. But let me ask you this. What has changed? Has he shown you actions that back up his words? Has he put in the work to earn back your trust? Has he proven to you that he's a man worth your time and your heart? If the answer is no, then why go back? Why put yourself through the pain again? Why put yourself in a situation where you know the outcome? Why keep revisiting the same broken places and expecting a different result? That's not growth. That's a cycle. I need you to understand something. Growth means you take the lesson from the pain and move forward. Growth means you don't repeat the same mistakes. Growth means you respect your time, your peace, and your worth enough to say, I'm not going back there. I'm better than that. I've outgrown that. And I'm walking forward into better. Because let me tell you something. You can't have the life you want if you keep holding on to the things that hurt you. You can't have the love you deserve if you keep going back to the person who never truly loved you right. You can't expect your best life if you keep revisiting your worst times. The future you're meant to have is ahead of you, not behind you. And the only way to get there is by walking forward, leaving the broken places behind. So when he contacts you, when that temptation to go back arises, I need you to remind yourself, you are not the same person who once put up with pain. You are not the same person who once let broken promises slide. You are not the same person who was stuck. You have grown, you have learned, and you are worthy of something better. and that better is ahead of you, but you can only get to it by leaving the broken places behind. When he contacts you, it's not a blessing, it's a test. And I need you to hear me clearly on this one, because too many of you get caught up thinking it's some kind of miracle or sign from the universe when someone who's hurt you decides to come back. But that's not a blessing, baby. That's a test. A test to see if you've really learned your worth. A test to see if you've really grown. A test to see if you've really healed. And it's a test that you need to pass, because if you fail, you're going to find yourself back in the same cycle of pain, confusion, and heartbreak. You got to understand this. When a person leaves, disappears, or treats you wrong, that's not something you should be waiting around for them to come back and fix. If they were serious about you in the first place, they would have handled things differently. But when they come back after all that time, after all the hurt, it's not a grand gesture of love. It's a test to see if you're still desperate, if you're still willing to take crumbs instead of the full meal you deserve. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that everyone who comes back doesn't have good intentions. Some people do change, and some people do genuinely realize they messed up and want to make things right. But here's the catch. That's not for you to figure out right now. That's not your responsibility. It's not on you to prove that you're worth changing for. No, no, no. If they truly care about you and want to make things right, it's on them to show up consistently, intentionally, and with real actions. It's on them to prove they've changed. When he contacts you, don't jump in all excited like it's the second coming. Don't act like everything is suddenly okay, like everything is forgotten, because if you do that, you're opening yourself up to being hurt again. You're setting yourself up to go right back to the pain you've already survived. What you need to do when he contacts you is ask yourself this question: is this a test, or is this really a blessing? A test isn't about words. A test is about actions. A test is about how he shows up in your life, not how he talks about what he did wrong. He can send you all the I miss yous and I'm sorries he wants, but that doesn't mean a thing if his actions don't match up. Talk is cheap. Talk doesn't heal the hurt. Actions do. And listen to me. This is where I need you to be strong. This is where I need you to stand firm in your standards. Don't let your emotions convince you that this is some grand opportunity, that this is the moment you've been waiting for. It's not. It's a test of your strength, your self-respect, and your growth. And if you fall for the words, if you fall for the I miss you, if you fall for the sweet gestures, you're failing the test. And failing the test means going back to the exact place that broke you. Failing the test means allowing the same energy that caused you pain to come back into your life. Failing the test means telling yourself that your worth is still up for negotiation, that you're still willing to settle for less than what you deserve. What I need you to do when he contacts you is look at the whole situation. Don't just look at his words or his apology. Don't just look at how good it feels to hear from him again. Look at the facts. Look at the history. Look at everything you've been through. Look at how many times you've cried over the same person. Look at how many times you've begged for things to change only to be let down again. Surround yourself with the wise men. The Getty EMA said this too will pass. Look at how many times you've tried to ignore the red flag, hoping that things would magically work out. You've already been through all that. You've already put in that effort. Now it's time to ask yourself, have they shown you they are worthy of another chance? Are they willing to prove it with their actions, not just their words? If they come back and their actions don't match up to what they're saying, then this is your opportunity to test them, to test whether or not they are truly ready to love you, respect you, and show up for you. A test means you don't just let them back in without proving they've changed. A test means you stand your ground and say, show me. Show me that you're serious about being in my life, about being the partner I deserve. A test means you don't let someone treat you like an option. You make them prove that they are not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And let me tell you, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to slow things down and say, you need to show me, not just tell me. It's okay to set boundaries and stand firm in them. Don't let him rush you. Don't let him guilt trip you into forgiving him just because it's convenient for him. It's your life. It's your heart. And your peace of mind is worth more than a temporary rush of feeling wanted or loved. When he contacts you, remember that it's a test, not a blessing. It's a test of your self-worth, your growth, and your healing. The right person will not rush you. The right person will not make you feel pressured. The right person will show you through their actions, through their effort, through their consistency, that they are worthy of your time, your love, and your trust. Anything less than that is a test. And you don't need to fail it. You don't need to go backwards. You don't need to let anyone make you feel like you're not enough or that you have to settle for less than what you deserve. So the next time he contacts you, take a deep breath. Look at the situation with a clear mind and an open heart, but don't forget the lessons you've learned. Treat his return as a test. And this time, make sure you pass with flying colors.